Alright, we're here for Impact Wrestling review of 10/20/2016. That is October 20th of the 2016th year of existence.
Yeah.
That's not really correct, but of the modern era. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I spoke too long for that intro. Anyways, let's talk about TNA tonight. A lot of good stuff. Some stuff that was like, oh, that's sad. And then some stuff that was like, that's pretty neat. So, let's go from the opener and then just hit bullet points and jump around a little bit. So obviously is the big thing that Cody Rhodes take on Eddie Edwards because why not? But Lashley and Moose, that's probably the biggest one, is that they're gonna fight. They're gonna fight in the opener, and Moose loses.
And
Which I
yeah, the
thought,
one chance they have to build Moose, they don't.
I don't know though. It's at the same time, it's like Lashley losing to Eddie was sad, but Lashley destroying EC3 was crazy, so him to lose to Moose would be crazy also, because it'd be like, now he can't relapse. But Moose is a pretty easy character, I think, right now to relapse, especially because he has all that heat behind the crowd. So, I don't know, hopefully this... I'm surprised Lashley's still stuck around. I thought he would have went to MMA or something by, weeks ago, what he was sounding like. But there's that.
Yeah, that was what he said.
Yeah. EC3, well, back up a little bit. Aaron Rex and Eli Drake were on The Fact of Life. I guess Aaron Rex is a heel now, so that's a
He really seemed
weird
like
one.
one. Like, it was very odd.
Yeah, they were piping in laughs and all that. It was weird. EC3 came out, got angry, said he was going to literally crap on the face of Eli Drake, and then they start brawling, and then Jesse Goddard is there, and that's weird. I don't know why. But yeah, it looks like, Eli Drake and Aaron Rex and Goddard's and EC3. That's a thing. Don't really know why. But
Where's
yeah.
Robbie E at? Did he get hurt?
Exactly. And it's like, I've always been a more Robbie E fan, like a bigger Robbie E fan out of the group
Well, I
of the
feel like
bromance.
I feel like he's honestly more of like a professional wrestler. Like, when I look at Jesse, it's like, yeah, it's a guy that's really jacked that tried to be a wrestler.
Yeah, it happens. But I don't know. I think maybe for that grand championship, maybe it's better for Jesse. But ultimately, if I was picking EC3's partner, I'd pick Robbie E. Because even though Jesse and EC3 are kind of buff, Robbie E kind of is more relatable to EC3, in my opinion. Mostly because of their charisma. Not really on the same level, but at least it's both there. Jesse really isn't too charismatic, sadly, compared to, DJZ and Robbie E when they were part of the bromans and all that stuff going on. But yeah, there's that. So, it was a hit. It's gonna be a hit or miss. That's the thing. Like, we don't really know for now, but it's another thing that could be a hit or miss. But let's talk about something that was pretty great. So no decay tonight. That was sad, but even though we didn't get the decay, we made up for it with, of course, the Hardys, and they took on the Tribunal. They won because Tribunal better not win against the Hardys. And Death Count Council appeared. And
Yes.
your boys of the Death Count Council, who are not revealed yet, but you can probably guess who they are. We're going to save it for another video to talk about. It's one of those, like, theory videos. But we think that there might be more members of the Death Count Council coming because of the masks on the table. How they had
Yeah, there
six
was
extra
6
masks.
masks,
Yes.
and then the 3 guys.
So I definitely have a good idea. I mean, picking up 6 more people for this faction might be overkill, but it might work out too at the same time. So I don't know.
Yeah, like the Aces and Eights, like we just talked about how we like them.
Hmm.
The Aces and Eights had a pretty large, like, overall, like, when it first started. Like, I feel like there was more masked people than they actually even revealed
I think so too, honestly.
when they had the Aces and Eights. Because I feel like there was at one point there was like 11 guys, and I don't think there was ever 11 guys in Aces and Eights.
Yeah, it was something crazy, and I think that would really work out good for DCC, is to have those extra number of people, especially with like the gimmick that they're portraying of basically anonymous, of TNA. I guess, I don't know, but that'll be fun. It looks like we're shaping up for Death Count Council and Broken Hardy family. So that's pretty good. Oh, highlight of the night is the tribunal is taken away from King Maxwell's dinner plate. So that's why they really don't like the tribunal. So the Fixer, aka Tyrus, backstage with Mahabali Sira. We had a good bit of interaction between those two. He's like, hey, stop doing your finger dance. I died a little bit inside when he said that, but it's okay because we got a more serious Mahabali Shira. But he went on to take on Mike Bennett, right? I believe.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know who won that match. You know who won the match.
Without even trying to guess at it.
Yeah. So good job for ruining the fun aspect of Mahabali Shira as a joke. But there's that. I'm trying to think anything else I'm missing. Women's stuff. Not really. Not really.
There was like backstage stuff.
Oh yeah, there was like Braxton Sutter with his actual real life girlfriend, who is Allie. They were flirting when they're really dating, but at the same time, there's that other girl who I really don't like. A part of
Vanessa.
Yeah,
I don't like her.
I really don't like her in that situation. I think it's too soon to be adding another person because we just got Allie, and the crowd's really behind Allie. So I think getting this girl also into that.
Well, the thing is Allie had
awkward.
a big following out before this. Like, this girl was a tough enough. Like, she failed at tough enough. It was Daniel Bryan. Remember back when Daniel Bryan had the injury and it was his therapist? Like, this is her.
That was his therapist. But yeah. But yeah, and how'd Raquel go for the guru? The guru should have stayed as the guru. Didn't give her a name, but I don't even know if that's even a thing anymore with what they're doing with Jesse Otters.
Well, yeah, like they don't even have Robbie E around anymore.
Yeah, so more of Maria Kanellis Bennett bashing people on the microphone, kind of a filler thing. Didn't really mean too much because we'll get to our main event. We have Eddie Edwards taking on your boy Cody, No Rhodes. And Eddie Edwards wins because I think it was good, in my opinion. Some people would say, oh, just put the title on Cody. It's weird because you can't flip-flop titles too much, but it was decent. It was a great match. And at the end, Eddie Edwards left the ring to Cody Rhodes and the crowd, and they were like, yay, we love Cody, not Rhodes. And then at that moment, when Brandy Rhodes is up there, clapping for her husband, she gets attacked by Maria Kanellis Bennett. And, Cody's like, what the heck? And he goes to look after her. And we have Maria and Mike Bennett saying they're the power couple of, I don't know what I just said, power couple of TNA. And, yeah. That's going to take us into more of their feud. So, pretty decent Impact. Anything you want to add to it, really?
I mean, it was a good one. Like, I feel like the last couple weeks were filled with stuff that we really, really enjoyed.
Yeah.
This one was more of it advanced everything else.
Yeah, it advanced the story, but it wasn't too overwhelming or too underwhelming.
That's why, I feel like we almost get overwhelmed sometimes watching TNA.
Yeah, for a couple weeks.
They have so much going on, like with like the Hardys and whatnot. They would have so much going on that you're just like, what?
Hardys, Decay, Eli Drake, the whole Grand Championship thing. There's like no X Division tonight. There was a little quick thing right before the main event, where the X Division champion, which is DJZ Mayan, said, "Hey, we're doing X Gold." I talked about the concept because he explained it better on Facebook than they're doing it on TNA, honestly, and I talked about it for a bit. It's still a little confusing. It's kind of group battles for TNA, that X Division. It's weird, but Rockstar Spud comes out and he's angry. He's like, I have a team that's going to beat Team X, Team Y, and Team Z. I don't really know, but whatever. So there's that. X Division week, not so good. Women's Division, Knockouts Division week, not so good. Grand Championship week, pretty good. Pretty good week for Tag Division, and pretty good week overall for the world title. So I'm really feeling good. Good storyline week. Just we've seen in other weeks where TNA was able to really get across everybody, and I think that's one thing that I kind of have to look at this week also is I can't just give them a 9 or anything like that. I'm gonna give them a solid 7.5. It was a good show. Of course, more Death Counsel. They actually debuted this week and beat up people. Right? I don't believe they did last week at all. No, they were just doing that little
No, last week
vignette.
was segment.
But anything you guys want to add to it for IS3 numbers too?
I thought it was pretty good, like you've said. Really good week for tag team. They could have done so much more with the X division instead of just that little segment. I really enjoy. I would feel like they really should have just ended the show off.
Oh, I
with
forgot
Eddie.
one thing to add
What is it?
about how they basically are kind of somewhat repackaging Tribunal.
They're kinda and kinda not. I mean, it's
Like
weird.
it's just like it's very different. Like their attires are now more like serious, like thug, less. It's less. Hey, we're French wrestlers, and more. Hey, we're thugs that are gonna take you out.
Big thumbs down, by the way, for no Al Snow and no Shane Helms. It looks like we're gonna get them back, sadly. So I do believe that TNA needs one really good guy manager. I mean, even if you gotta like go and get some random, manager, I think we need to really build a manager in TNA. Just a side thing. What'd you say, Malin?
Duh.
Yes. What would you give it tonight, Malin?
I would give it an 8.
8.
Because I can't really go higher.
Mullins, what would you give it?
I'll go 8.
8, solid 8. I'm gonna give it 7.5. We've had better weeks. We've had weeks where it's very overwhelming, but it's still freaking great, and we've had weeks where it's very underwhelming. And I think we had just another transition week of story where we're gonna keep on transitioning to the story of we're gonna hit that week again where it's gonna be very overwhelming, and then we'll have those underwhelming weeks again. But pretty good transition week.